It is natural when we're overwhelmed, especially for a prolonged period of time, to go into a numbing response. And so often in those moments, that's when we need other outside people, friends, family, mental health professional to be like, hold on, you're stuck in a loop.
Dr. Wong, welcome to Money Bites.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to have this conversation. So the numbing response, or the almost dissociative response, right? I'm going to utilize something to distract from the negative emotion that uncertainty brings up. That falls within the same area or category as a freeze response. Or it's a flee. So for stress responses in human beings, we've only evolved a couple coping mechanisms. So fight, flight, freeze. These are the kind of most common ones. And so in some ways, the numbing is that freeze. And then the distraction or dissociation kind of is I'm going to flee from it. I'm going to disengage. I'm going to try to run away, right? Psychologically from it. And so some people will engage in like binge watching shows to not think about it, right? Or they'll dissociate through video games, or perhaps like alcohol, things like that, to kind of say, okay, I don't want to feel this. And so I'm going to use whatever I can to distance and dissociate from it, I say like coping mechanisms are coping mechanisms, right? Some are more healthful and some are more problematic. It is natural when we're overwhelmed, especially for a prolonged period of time, to go into a numbing response, because the mind cannot handle a constant stimulation, constant stress response. If you rub at your kind of like a spot for so long that after a while your brain is just shut off, because it cannot sustain that stimulus and the pain and the input. Similarly, the mind numbs because it says, I've hit capacity of the stimulus that I can process and understand. And so in order to protect itself, it numbs itself. The thing with that is, in a short term, it might be necessary because you can't escape that situation right now. But in the long term, what it does is it actually cuts you off from the necessary information and inputs that help inform what action needs to come next, right? To take you out of that situation. The classic psychology experiment, these dogs, unfortunately, were shocked over and over, and they were not given an opportunity to escape. And at first they would try to claw their way out. They would bark, they would whimper, they would do everything as I'm going to fight this. And once they realized they could not escape over a prolonged period of time, they gave up. They laid down. They just sat in the cage and let themselves be shocked, because there was a sense of, I cannot get out of this, right? And that's the numbing. That's the I no longer can mobilize action because it's too much. That numbing response, right, if we can't move out of it, also creates that dissociation or avoidance where we get stuck then in life situations and we feel like we're repeating it over and over again, and we can't see a way out. And many of us have been in that situation in all different contexts before. And so often in those moments, that's when we need other outside people, friends, family, mental health professional to be like, hold on, you're stuck in a loop. You might be replaying the same dynamics, replaying the same perhaps problematic behaviors over and over that are keeping you trapped. And we can't see the escape hatch because we've become so dissociated from it, right? Is one of the things that calms and regulates our nervous system is social connection, right? That's why that's one of the pillars of mental health, is being connected with other people regrounds us, stabilizes us, and calms that over-regulated nervous system enough so that we can actually do something to change our lives.